What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to Cars with Abe. Today is the day we are getting this bad boy started. Long awaited. Let's get to it. So today feels a lot like Christmas. We got a bunch of, well, it's cheap Christmas. We got a bunch of cheap parts here. The kind that you want to save the receipt for, but no harm, no foul, since this is a budget build. But anyways, we have oil filters, some spark plugs. Now, the plan here is not to use all of these parts because we don't know still if that engine is bad and if it needs to be replaced or not. So my plan is to replace things a little at a time and see where we can get with the motor. Obviously, I don't want to waste more money than what I actually have to. And if this engine does get started and bearings, we got rod knot, whatever the case may be, then of course we are going to have to replace the motor or rebuild it, whatever we decide to do from there. But obviously I don't want to spend unnecessary money, so we'll do it a little at a time. So I'm thinking the first thing that we're gonna do here is drain some fuel. I was thinking about siphoning, but I don't know if you guys can see that and that camera's picking up. There is a drain plug right there. And as per usual, got my trusty friend PB Blaster. Let's see how much fuel's in there. And it's completely dry. No fuel coming out. My guess is that all the fuel has evaporated. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is leave this drain open and pour some fresh fuel in there just to kind of maybe get some residue that may be in there out. Honestly, with that being said, I really do hope that the tank is not completely rusted out right now, but at the same time I was kind of thinking about replacing the fuel tank anyways later on once we know exactly what to do with the engine. So we just added roughly 5 gallons of fuel into the gas tank, so that should be good to go. And next, what I want to do is let's get some fresh oil in the engine. I'm getting excited, guys, honestly. So my plan here, let me tell you my plan. I am going to change the oil. There's the oil filter right down there. Gonna change the oil, and then you know, obviously the battery, like I talked to you guys before, make sure that there's coolant in here, and then I'm gonna try and bump start it. Basically, for those of you that don't know what bump start is, it could get the oil start regulating in there, and that way we don't have to start it 100% dry for all the lifters and everything after 15 years. Hopefully get some things moving just a little bit, but that's only if we get that far. So keep your fingers crossed. Don't make fun of me, but I'm gonna clean all this with the compressed air. You'll be happy to know that we just got stopped by an oil filter. That is my bad. So I didn't get an oil filter wrench, which none of us have. We might do some unorthodox things to get that oil filter off. As you can tell, it's already kind of messed up. Well, we got it out. This is a very important part. Extreme concentration needed. And just like that, we got a new oil filter. Man, they look so pretty when they're brand new. O'Reilly's, this is not a paid product placement. All right, so we may be on to our last step, getting rid of this battery and replacing this cable as well as this cable, both positive and negative. Maybe it will crank up. So I started having problems with this battery terminal there. I just realized I don't need to do anything. So I just take this side off because I have new cables. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and take off the other side here since I'm replacing this, because this is actually the worst of them all. But I do believe that we have to remove the lower radiator hose so that way I get to it a little bit easier on the engine block. Finally, we are out of here. Look at that. Look how nasty that is. All right, so now the new ground cable goes, well, I don't know if you can see it, but it goes somewhere in there. And just like that, we're going back together with it. In the new battery goes. Hours later, she looks so pretty. So this may be a moment of truth. We do need to get some coolant real quick and then put that lower radiator hose back on, but negative cable is on. Positive cable is on and it works. I tested it with hitting the metal by accident and it sparked. Just kidding, don't test it like that. We're getting somewhere. Okay, so we took a break here. I ignored this, I dropped this. Anyways, we got some coolant to put back into the Ford since we took off that lower radiator hose. Also, I got a new radiator hose. I know we're trying to stay cheap here, but you know what? Might as well. Let's get right into it and put that radiator hose back on. Maybe replace that coil in there, and we should be good to go. Hopefully, in with the new, out with the old. And now, we are going to put some new coolant in there, replace that coil, maybe this ignition wire here for the coil, and then give her a crank. So now we have the air filter box off. We are going to replace this coil, which I think it's just one bracket way down there, and then a couple of connectors, if you can see, in here and here, and hopefully that's good. Yeah, so here's the bracket for the coil. Now this was pretty cool because that bolt right here just came off and the whole bracket came out, and then I was able to loosen up that old coil and just slide it on out like I suspected, but didn't really come out the way I want it to. However, here's the old coil, and then we are going to be replacing it with this new coil here. Looks pretty good. Already pre-fitted those wires that connect to the old coil on this one. It's hot. And now the prep work to start the car, what we all been waiting for. We put some more coolant in here so that way it can just kind of purge itself a little bit, but hopefully nothing catches on fire. We did look at some wires and stuff like that prior to this point. It looks promising, so keep your fingers crossed. Oh my gosh, a little bit of spritz. Should be good. Bug inspection. So excited. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm getting excited, guys, because this is pretty cool. So at least we know that the starter is not locked up or anything. It's not just clicking. Everything is turning. So I think we're going to take it up a notch. Let's go ahead and see if it actually cranks up. Here we go. Come on. All right, so we got it to spin. Now we are thinking that it may not be getting some sparks. So we are going to check and see how the points are in the distributor. You know, we'll kind of go from there, but see if moisture got on them. I don't know, it looks pretty healthy. Anybody that want to know what your tailpipes hold for 15 years when it's trying to start, there you have it. Alright guys, so it seems as though we have been defeated by the old Ford today. As you guys heard, it's cranking, but it's not actually starting. So it might be a carburetor issue. Talking it over with my dad. Back in the day when it did start, there used to be a carburetor problem before, and he's always had a new carburetor. So that being said, we're gonna call it quits for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, but don't go anywhere because the next video that I'm making, we are going to be putting on a new carburetor that we've already had, and we are going to be putting in some spark plugs, the ignition wires and all that stuff. So without further ado, this effectively ends today's video. Please smash that like button if you did like the video, and please consider subscribing. Peace. Have a good day.